Today we celebrate Saint Rose of Viterbo. 1235 is the date of her birth. Miracle worker, Franciscan tertiary. She's the patron saint of exiles and those rejected by religious orders. She was born poor. Her parents were pious. She was born in Viterbo, obviously, entered the world at a time when the emperor was oppressing the church and denouncing the papacy in order to regain control of the Roman Empire. So Pope Gregory IX excommunicated the emperor, and war raged across Italy. Many were unfaithful to the Holy See. But Rose was filled with grace from birth. Before she could walk, her parents would find her kneeling before Jesus in his tabernacle, praying before sacred images. At the age of 3, she miraculously brought her aunt back from death by laying her hands upon her and calling out her name. At the age of 7, she professed her intention to live the life of a hermit, devoting herself to penance and fasting. Rose became very ill and nearly died of consumption. The Blessed Mother appeared to her on her sickbed, and Rose suddenly exclaimed to those around her, "All of you here, why do you not greet the Queen of the world? Do you not see Mary, the Mother of my God? Let us go to meet her." Knowing Rose to possess supernatural gifts, they turned toward the door and knelt down. Mary, the Mother of God, spoke to Rose, telling her she must enter the third order of St. Francis, then go out to reprove, convince, exhort, and bring back the erring to the paths of salvation. If your endeavors bring upon you sarcasm and mockery, persecution and labor, you must bear them patiently. Those who assist you will be enriched with all the graces of the Lord. So Rose miraculously recovers and takes the habit of the Third Order Franciscans. Soon after, she has another vision. This time, it's the Lord appearing to her on the cross, wearing the crown of thorns on his head, and bleeding profusely from all his wounds. He revealed to Rose that his love for men and their sins had caused his great suffering. Consequently, Rose carried a cross in her hand and went out into public, and telling the people of the terrible tortures our Lord suffered because of their evil. At the age of 8, she began preaching penance to the city of Viterbo and defending the papacy for the next 2 years. Viterbo had been captured by the forces of the emperor, so her father eventually forbade her to preach. However, it was the prefect of the city banished her from Viterbo. The family left Viterbo and took refuge in the city of Soriano. In 1250, Rose foretold the speedy death of the emperor, a prophecy that was realized on December 13th, 8 days after the prophecy. Soon afterwards, she went to Vitorchiano, whose inhabitants had been corrupted by a famous sorceress. Rose obtained the conversion of all of them. Rose then attempted to enter the convent of St. Mary of the Roses, but was turned away because she didn't have a dowry. She returned home and lived in a private cell in her father's house, where she increased her prayer and mortification. At the young age of 18, Rose died, having prophesied her own death of what is now believed to have been a heart defect. Her dying words to her parents were, "I die with joy, for I desire to be united to my God. Live so as not to fear death. For those who live well in the world, death is not frightening, but sweet and precious." St. Rose of Viterbo was buried in the Church of Santa Maria in Poggio. After her death, Pope Alexander IV ordered that her body be laid to rest in the convent that had refused her admission, and her incorrupt body was translated to the convent of St. Mary of the Roses. Her body remains fragrant and beautiful. For more than 700 years, it has remained supple and unchanged, except for its color, which was darkened after a fire in the chapel where her body had reposed. St. Rose Viterbo. We have a friary there, and many of our friars live and work there, close to the home of a saint. Pretty good, huh?